I'd like you to stop for a second and visualize how much money has been robbed from your company's bottom line as a result of disengaged employees, unnecessary complexity, and hidden cost. Let me ask you this. Will you just continually juggle your existing resources and hope for different results? You probably heard the definition of insanity. Keep on doing the same things and expecting different results. Don't you think it's time to take a different approach? Before you consider taking a different approach, let's look at your current approach and find out how much money is being left on the table as a result of disengaged employees, unnecessary complexity, and hidden cost. I call disengaged employees, unnecessary complexity, and hidden cost value drains because they literally suck value from your company's bottom line. Imagine your company using that money to fund long-term growth. You see, it's easy for a leadership team to get caught up in the details of the company's everyday business. I've found all too often leadership teams get caught up in the present, stuck in today, and unable to think towards tomorrow. However, being a leader is about looking forward and not only looking at what's currently on your plate today. Leadership teams must be able to see the big picture. Isn't it time to take the steps to eliminate your value drains and use that money to fund your company's future? Today, we're going to find out how much money we're talking about. A company's leadership team is to effectively and efficiently utilize the resources at their disposal to maximize the value of the company's assets for which the leadership team is responsible. All companies have the same four resources of manpower, materials, money, and management. All companies also work to maximize the value of these four assets: places, processes, people, and purchases. As a company, how do you know if you're using your resources effectively and efficiently? As a company, you want to know if you're utilizing your resources effectively and efficiently, and you'll know that when you eliminate value drains. Remember, I define value drains as disengaged employees, unnecessary complexity, and hidden costs. To find out how seriously value drains are entrenched at your company, together we'll go through a proven process to determine what percentage of your current operating expenses are consumed by value drains. Once you know that number, you are then in a position to decide either to do something about it or choose to do nothing. To get started, let me first describe a situation most of you should be familiar with. Due to circumstances beyond your control, you and your spouse are forced to share the same car for a significant period of time. The vehicle you and your spouse are sharing is the car you usually drive. You typically keep good records, but you begin to notice different results from what you have been used to. Things like physical adjustments needed each time you get in the car. The level of cleanliness has declined. You don't get the same tire wear or miles per gallon that you're used to. You have noticed a difference in the physical results from the same vehicle you were used to driving. The change is in the physical results you have observed are strictly because a different driver has been introduced into the equation. It's the same car, but there are two drivers with different driving habits, driving styles, driving tendencies and driving preferences. Now let's take this analogy to the world of business. The company, more specifically, your company's infrastructure is like the car I just described. And your current leadership team is one of the drivers of the car. Take away any company, take any company, and make changes to the leadership team, and the results achieved by the company will not be identical to the previous leadership team. Why? Because changes in the leadership team changes the way resources of manpower, materials, money, and management are utilized. Therefore, to confidently put a number on the level of value drains at your company, we look at the health of your company's infrastructure, the vehicle, separately from the leadership team, the drivers of that car or the vehicle, and how that leadership team utilizes the resources at their disposal. Whatever is the current condition of your company's infrastructure, that's what it is. In other words, the condition of your company's current infrastructure is the hand your company leadership team has been dealt. Your task now is to deal with the infrastructure your company currently has. We know the behaviors, actions, and decisions of an operationally excellent company leadership team. We also know the overall health of the infrastructure of our operationally excellent company. Our task now is to compare the current condition of your company's infrastructure, which is your vehicle, to the infrastructure of an operationally excellent company, which is their vehicle. What will result is the exposure of a gap. That is, the gap between the overall health of an operating excellent company's infrastructure and the overall health of your company's current infrastructure. Then we will turn our attention to the leadership team, the driver, to determine how effectively your current leadership team is using the company's current resources compared to the leadership team of an operationally excellent company and how they use their resources. Let's first look at the overall health of your company's infrastructure, which I call the vehicle, in the example, and determine to what extent does your company's current infrastructure provide a breeding ground for value drains. In other words, to what extent do the following exist at your company? Disengaged employees, unnecessary complexity, and hidden costs. So now, I've given you a heads up on the type of information needed to find out about your company. First, let's look at disengaged employees. For a company to achieve optimal success, its employees must not just merely do their jobs. To attain optimum success, a company's employees must do their jobs with enthusiasm, a sense of personal investment, and a commitment to surpassing goals and driving current and future results. Engaged employees are emotionally committed to the company. Engaged employees come to work each day ready and are willing to perform to do the best of their abilities. Warning signs to look for when employees are struggling to stay engaged. An I don't care attitude. Increased absences or tardiness, declining quality of work, mood swings, isolating themselves from others, no creativity or input, lethargic. Ultimately, the result of disengaged employees is varying degrees of increased inefficiency, decreased productivity, high turnover, armchair critics, and workplace chaos. Why? Research studies have shown two main reasons. First, the company does not understand what people want from work. And second, A substantial portion of existing managers are incompetent leaders. The more your company's work environment is one of collaboration and inclusion, the less the level of employee disengagement. Now, let's look at unnecessary complexity. Within the confines of every company, decisions of all types are made every day. It is essential that every decision, no matter what is perceived importance, is made with the best intentions and the company's interests at heart. The health of your business depends on it. Making snap business decisions can make or break a business. Changing business practices on a whim or because the owner is in a bad mood can have irreversible consequences. A business is only as good as its weakest member. So putting together a robust leadership team is paramount to the business's ability to make good decisions. All members of the leadership team need to be on the same page concerning the company's mission, vision, and values. It takes a team. The leadership team will make significant decisions, but there are a number of small decisions that your managers and frontline employees will make, and most of the time without your input. To ensure that decision-making is uniform throughout the company, there should be a decision-making process that everyone follows. The impact of a company's decisions can be long-term and far-reaching, or they may be short-lived and go mainly unnoticed. Unnecessary complexity is a result of an ineffective and inconsistent company decision-making process. Now, let's look at hidden cost. A company's operating model is the who, what, where, and how by which a company executes its strategy. Your operating model outlines how to organize and deploy company resources so critical work gets done. Your operating model encompasses the majority of your company's people and the bulk of your company's assets. Your operating model is the bridge between strategy and execution. Let me repeat that statement again to be as clear as possible. In order to execute your strategy successfully, an operating model is required. All too often, operating models are developed over a period of time and evolve into multiple distinct systems, a mix of ad hoc, in-house developed systems, or spreadsheets. When a company has multiple systems where core data is not connected seamlessly, the result is business systems that can't talk to one another. The outcome and impact for your company is duplicity of data, problems with reconciliation, time lost tracking and updating databases, teams not knowing where data or what data to should believe. The bottom line is time is wasted, resources are used ineffectively, and you're leaving money on the table. I call this hidden cost because you do not have access to the right actual information at the right time. Remember, time is money. As time is wasted misusing resources, that time and the dollar value of that time is lost forever. That is why I call them hidden costs. These hidden costs are the result of company information not being accessible, not accurate, and not actionable. There is a quote by the business guru Peter Drucker: "What gets measured gets managed." So how are you keeping score? How are you making sure you have the right information available at the right time, formatted to be actionable? The goal of the put a number on a calculator is to understand to what extent is your company's infrastructure able to deliver actionable information to the right people at the right time and in the right format. The put a number on a calculator will investigate these 4 infrastructure areas we believe have the biggest impact for sustaining long-term profitable growth. The 4 areas are decision authority. We take a snapshot of your company's decision authority framework and compare it to the decision authority framework of an operationally excellent company. Operating the business is number 2. We will take a snapshot of your company's project management and work management execution process and compare it to the project management and work management of an operationally excellent company. Number 3, optimizing and upgrading continuous improvement on purpose. Continuous improvement on purpose is the byproduct of taking a holistic approach to business operations. We will take a snapshot of your company's project management system and compare it to the project management system of an operationally excellent company. And the 4th area is game changing. Game changers dare to envision a new future. They eliminate boundaries. They depart from the noise of the status quo. We will take a snapshot of your company's current ability to make significant transformational change and compare that to an operationally excellent company's ability to make significant transformational change. Your company's resource must do the following 2 functions simultaneously. 1, perform the work of the company. And 2, grow the value of the company's assets. First, the put a number on a calculator looks at how effectively your company's leadership team is managing the work of the company. In other words, does your company's current leadership team utilize the resources at its disposal to get the company's work completed? Second, we'll look at how your company's current leadership team is managing the company's assets. How well is your company's leadership team managing the company's current assets? What is the current condition of your company's assets? The put a number on a calculator will investigate the communication infrastructure within your company. It is imperative that a company infrastructure have an integrated communication infrastructure to effectively and efficiently get your company's work completed, as well as maximizing the value of your company's current assets. Finally, the put a number on a calculator will investigate your company's current system of financial controls. How do you and your leadership team know you are getting the best value for the money you're spending? Then we will evaluate how your company utilizes its resources in 4 areas: asset management, work management, communications interface, and financial controls. For each of the 4 resource components, I will briefly define the meaning of that resource component and give you some examples so we're all on the same page. Each resource component will also have 2 or 3 subcomponents to further clarify your company's current situation. Each subcomponent will also include overviews and examples to make sure we're comparing apples to apples. Let's get started.